Now, for a review of what's making the headlines in the papers this morning, let's bring in a RISE analyst, Dr. Constance Ikwoku. Good morning, Dr. Constance.
Good morning, Yolanda. I hope you're wonderful today.
I'm good, thank you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Good morning to Nkechi and Charles.
Good morning, Dr. Constance.
How are you?
Great. You look classy today.
Oh, thank you. I'm blushing. Oh, that shouldn't be blushing. All right, to look at the papers with us today, we have Mr. Segun Sowunmi. He is a political commentator and convener of The Alternative. Hello there and welcome to the program. We'll begin with This Day newspaper. In This Day, Jonathan introducing one-party state via backdoor invitation to crisis. The former president, Goodluck Jonathan, noted that although one-party state had worked in other climes, it was not by accident. It was carefully planned to achieve certain objectives. On the contrary, backdoor manipulations leading to a one-party state is a recipe for disaster, he said. He advised that Nigeria allows a multi-party system. Mr. Sowunmi, I mean, this is pretty much a straightforward argument. It's difficult to debate the points raised therein by the former president. However, since you're a member of the People's Democratic Party, whose members are moving in droves to the All Progressives Congress, I would ask, what do you have to say about that? And then, of course, briefly comment on the former president's thinking or thoughts on this subject matter.
I think that, thank you very much. Good morning, guys. Political evolution in Nigeria is taking a certain uncomfortable turn now. And my guess is that until we're done with the 2027 election, the parties will not really settle down. I hope and I'm anticipating that those that need to move will move. When the election is done and dusted and the votes are counted, then the question will now be, what next? I expect that the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria will provide the experiment of how political parties are going to step over this intending movement all over the place. And I feel that the next stage will be parties will now settle down. For most of them are going to find out that the grass is not greener on the other side. Most of them are still shopping for influence. Some of them are shopping for tickets. Some of them are shopping to become part of the winning party and the largesse that comes with it. And I have a feeling that you don't have enough space for all politicians in one party. That's that. On the one-party state backdoor invitation that the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, mentioned, I was at that event when he said it. I kind of feel that our leaders are a bit lazy in their thought processes. There are 18 political parties in Nigeria. The rules for registration for new parties are pretty much clear. I think that each of them must look at themselves in the mirror and ask themselves what have they contributed to that which they complain about. It is not the duty of the ruling party to prevent anybody from coming to his party. It is more like the duty of high-ranking members like Jonathan and a few of them, especially who have used the platform of the PDP to do so much, to roll up their sleeve and get on board and try to stabilize the party. For beyond the election victory, political parties also create opportunity for people to contribute to the political dialogue. And every election does not end the life of a political party. Once 2027 is done, whoever wins it, the country still continues. So there's a bit of an uncomfortable generalization or victimization by making it seem that somebody is manipulating people. I think people are just manipulating themselves and displaying the kind of character and indiscipline that we have seen with politicians in the country.
All right, well said, Mr. Sowunmi. The opposition also has a responsibility here. Let's stay with This Day. Above the mast, we have Wigwe's helicopter crash due to negligence, pilot error, according to report from the U.S. National Transport Safety Board. Well, this lays to rest this matter. Again, may the souls of Herbert Wigwe, his family, and Abimbola Ogunbanjo rest in peace. Then moving on to Daily Trust. LP suspends Abia Governor Kingibe, others. The party announced the indefinite suspension over alleged anti-party activities. Apparently, this is the Julius Abure-led Labour Party because, as we can see in other papers, can we pull up the Vanguard newspaper, please? There in the Vanguard, Labour Party moves against Abure, sets up disciplinary committee. This is the faction led by Senator Nenadi Usman as caretaker committee. Again, Mr. Shewumi, the party has only one governor, Alex Oti from Abia State, who is generally viewed as a performer. So do you really want to pick a fight with the only governor you have? Your response to this story?
I think that the situation of the Labour Party is particularly very disappointing and a bit heavy on the heart. Whereas other political parties must struggle to find the ideological underpinnings, because it's a workers' party, it has a large pool of workers that will continually give them energy. If only those who have to stabilize the party get their act together. They could look at what's happening with the Labour Party in England, what's happening with the Workers' Party in Brazil, and just ask yourself, what's wrong with us in Nigeria? Is it that we have intelligent, better charactered people have left the political space to the kinds of characters that are running political parties to such a point that they don't get the big picture? For if they did, they would have understood that with all of the issues going on in the country and the decampation and all of that, Labour Party, if it stabilizes itself, will become significantly big because a lot of people will look up to them. It's a little bit disgraceful that they are hurting their brand champions. You're having issues with your governor. You're having issues with the quality of men and women that came to your party to provide some new energy. You're having issue with your former presidential candidate. I don't know how it makes sense, except to say that it is part of why people like me have always canvassed that, look, you can't leave the political parties just to the type of people that are playing politics. Quality people must understand political parties are the first safeguard in a democracy, and the earlier quality, better quality of people join the parties, whichever one they like. Join PDP, that's what I'll canvass. Join Labour if you must, but we cannot leave it to just this type of character. This is extremely, extremely uncomfortable and very disgraceful.
A lot of shit's going on in the political space. Did you guys have anything to say?
I agree with Mr. Shewumi. It's quite disappointing that the Labour Party is going through all this internal fighting. This is a party that rode on that wave, like he said, of youth energy, bringing that new energy, clean politics, a promise of that new Nigeria. Now just dancing to the same old beat of political infighting all the time. If they're suspending the only governor from Labour Party, Governor Alex Oti of Abia State, then who does Labour Party have? And where do they stand in the whole political climate of Nigeria? It's quite disappointing to see.
Yeah, interesting turn of events. Let's see Daily Sun. VAT stays to earn more as Senate passes 2 tax reform bills, approves new sharing formula for VAT, retains 7.5%. We know these bills will pass. The president has the National Assembly under lock and key. But let's also talk about increased revenue for states and expenditure that will follow. Although we know that the value of the naira is greatly eroded due to hyperinflation. Yolanda, do you have any thoughts on this?
I do, but I just have one question. If money is coming into the kitty, where is it going to ultimately? That's my only concern, because I think we've seen too many issues with money coming into different states, but very little accountability. That's my one true concern.
Yeah, from the beginning, when the, what do you call it, the money from was removed last year. I forgot what it's called. When the government came into power and they removed subsidy, yes. When subsidy was removed, we were told that the state governors, now had more money in their kitty. Now, with what is happening with these tax bills, they will even have more money. At the same time, people will be asking, what do you do then with the funds that accrue to the state government? Because most times we look to the federal government, we ask a lot of questions with what happens at the center. However, the states are also very important. Let's see New Telegraph this morning. Can demands deliberate action to stop killings. Benue facing asymmetric warfare. Can we also quickly return to the Vanguard newspaper, a related story? At the top right-hand corner, Governor Alia is alleging plot to destabilize Benue and plans to remove him from office. Charles, do you have any insight into this allegation by Governor Alia?
You know, the issue of what is happening in Benue and the governor's concerns are two different things. The governor is concerned about the fact that he has described those protests in Abuja calling on the National Assembly to take over the Benue State House of Assembly as an orchestrated campaign to bring negative attention to Benue State, to motivate the president to remove him as governor, just like what happened in River State. But I think that particular concern does not cut any ice at all. I mean, how do protests in Abuja and not even in Benue State bring that sort of attention that would lead to your removal as governor? The real issues are there, and it's that issue of asymmetric warfare, or call it the raids of killer headsmen on farming communities, people displaced, and I would have imagined that that would have been his concern. So it seems as if political survival is more expedient than the survival of the people themselves. In any case, Benue State is under siege, and that's the truth of the matter. So those are the issues that the governor should have been concerning himself with, and probably taken the same kind of action his predecessor did before him to douse the situation before, he now came to dismantle those structures that actually ensured that herdsmen did not make those incursions into the state again.
But we also know that the president has told the governor that he needs to do more.
Absolutely. He does need to do more. That is very, very clear. So if he doesn't know what to do, he should consult his predecessor.
Mr. Showomi, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that generally with the security situation in the country, I have been worried for some time, and I have been doing a bit of soul searching at what really could be a lasting solution to this thing. I believe that one of the major reasons why it's continued to reoccur, government go, government come, is because we have not had the courage to go after the big guys behind them. You need to figure out who's providing the arms, what's the logistics of moving money, what's the logistics of moving even them from fire to feed and all of that. You can't run a nation as big as ours on an assumption that crime would take place, rather than you put it down and look at all your security report from the last 20 years, look at those that have been fingered, make them come and face the books so that everybody gets the memo that enough. If you keep playing politics with it, it's unfortunate. What are the citizens supposed to do? Just stay there and get killed, and then somebody's worried about whether they want to remove him and all that. It's painful. It's not just Benue, it's Plateau, it's the far north. You can't have, a nation cannot be helpless when it is dealing with an existential war with its people. And I think the federal government, I'm not blaming them because it's been around for some time. I think that they need to now buckle up and say, I have had enough. Whoever has been fingered in this thing needs to pay for it. We're talking about human lives here.
All right, let's see a leadership newspaper. 5 billion naira budget padding uncovered at NACON. This latest revelation at the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has sparked outrage with calls for investigation by anti-corruption agencies. The 5 billion naira was not earmarked for any identifiable project and was included under a broad and questionable heading, says this report. I mean, does cheating exist in the things of God too? Apparently it does. Religion without morality is what we're saying there. Anyone can jump in here.
I mean, it's unfortunate that we have to talk about this again. And this is not the first time that we're seeing NACON in this type of situation when it comes to alleged budget manipulation. I remember back in 2022, they had that 300 and something million naira inserted for what they call dubious projects, which included vehicles for House members and some other confusing things that they put it for. But what makes this issue particularly grotesque, like you said, is that betrayal of public trust from individuals who not only wear the robes of public office, but in this case, it's part of a religious process that they're doing. And we still have to talk about corruption, embezzlement, budget padding in a commission that Nigerians are even saying, look, we don't even maybe don't need this commission and use taxpayers' money to do things of religion, basically. So it's just unfortunate that we have to be back here again on this same issue.
I mean, there has been the argument that we do not need to put public funds in commissions and agencies such as this, in the things of God. If you want to go abroad or to the holy places, you sponsor yourself. Anyway, let's scan the headlines of Daily Independent. Here, we have global trade war to push Nigeria to grow what it eats, according to the federal government. Reps ask the FG to subsidize cancer treatment, offer free screening. We also have Nigeria first. Tinubu should trade his Escalade for innocent, according to Atiku. we saw that yesterday, so that's a bit of a stale story. Then let's move to the Guardian this morning, Guardian newspaper. Yeah, tax reform advances as Senate debate clauses, retains VAT at 7.5%. We also have court admits tapes of Kano ordering Tinubu Wike's death, burning of FJ property. 500 aspirants jostle for 57 council chairmanship seats in Lagos. Moving on to the international headlines, Daily Graphic, Mahama fulfills 72% 120-day pledge. 18 of the promises made by the president have been implemented, says Daily Graphic. That's very fast. I mean, he was sworn into office the other day. Citizen newspaper, workers' dire mental state. More than 50% of employees in South Africa are suffering from mental health issues. 32% diagnosed with depression, 25% stress, 18% anxiety, 13% burnout, and 10% trauma, according to a survey. Yolanda, this report also says there's a critical need for mental health support. It is something we do not talk about enough. We just die in silence.
I like that you said that this is something we don't talk about enough, because I don't think it's only a South African problem. No. It's a worldwide problem. But what I particularly like about the attention on this report is that for once, we're speaking about mental health as Africans. I think since COVID, we started speaking about it more and more. Before, it used to be a taboo. We don't speak about, your mental health. What's that? Go to work. Work is what you are meant to do. But now things are changing. The conversations are changing, and mental health is now showing to be an integral part of your job. If you come to work and you're not in a good state of mind, you're not earning well, you don't have job security, your output is going to be poor. And I think we also need to work on more workplace mental health policies, not just having them as policy on paper, but actually implementing them, finding ways to incorporate good, safe, healthy work environments for people.
All right, let's move on to the Independent newspaper. Pakistan, India has ignited an inferno and will retaliate. Tensions have escalated after Indian missile strikes on Pakistan-backed terrorists blamed for tourist attack, as Islamabad claims it shot down 5 jets. These two countries are, mortal enemies. We know that. Yes. The most chilling thing is that both are nuclear armed. I think that, Mr. Showum, you can come in here. I think that outside intervention will probably be needed in this circumstance.
I think 4 things have been at the heart of these constant squabbles and quarrels. The border issues, Kashmir, terrorism and counter-terrorism, allegations, and of course water. And because both of them now have nuclear powers, it's a major problem for the world. And almost every capital, Beijing has weighed in, Moscow has weighed in, Washington has weighed in, United Kingdom has weighed in. Everybody that is, a serious nation has weighed in, trying to say caution, caution, caution. Don't let it go over the board. Let's not it escalate. The world generally is in a flux because of all of the new economies that is coming up and the new business of engagement that is coming up as a result of the American policies. The world can least afford that type of issue now. So whatever it is that has happened, the United Nations needs to step in quickly and help them de-escalate, because it won't be pretty. These are a very populous nation. You don't want them having to be firing missiles at themselves.
Yeah, they've actually asked the United Nations to step in. Whether it will make any difference, we'll have to watch and see. Daily Mail: Iranians plotted to attack Israeli embassy in London, says this report. Counter-terrorism officers arrested 4 men last Saturday. Remember that recently Yemen's Houthis attacked Israel's airport. I mean, it's a never-ending conflict here. A tit for tat on all sides, and you know, in what some have called a genocide unfolding in Gaza. And it's unbelievable that it's still going on, Charles.
Very, very unfortunate state of affairs are there, but then it's now having a multiplier effect. If Iranians are plotting to attack the Israeli embassy in faraway London, then it now brings to fore the magnitude of what that conflict in the Middle East has become. Unfortunately, the United Nations has been able to do precious little. The United States is standing on the sidelines and watching it happen. Maybe it suits Donald Trump's purpose to turn Gaza into one vast Riviera in the Middle East. So there I mean, the rest of the world just seems to be watching helplessly as that situation unfolds. Now, the Iranians and probably the other allies of the Palestinians in the Middle East, okay, the Iranians and the Houthis of Yemen are trying to do their own token little, but of course going about it illegally and using a subterfuge most of the time. Unfortunately, it's precious little. Yeah. So there has to be some form of effective intervention. Otherwise, whatever the Houthis or the Iranians are doing, I mean, it does not compare in any way to what the Palestinians, the Gazans specifically, are going through.
I mean, the Hezbollah has been almost crippled, so the Houthis are saying there will be a replacement. So ratcheting up of the conflict.
Unfortunately, the Houthis are dealing with Israel and the United States, so they can only make noise.
And there are over 19 million malnourished children in Yemen following so many years of civil war in that country. It's unbelievable. Our final story, the Daily Telegraph: £4 million a day. True cost of housing migrants. Asylum bill increases threefold as EU rejects British calls to help smash small boat gangs. I mean, British citizens are furious at the cost of keeping migrants. Many of them are lodged in more than 250 hotels all over the country. Some of these hotels were targets during the riots last year. We can see it's a very sensitive issue, a matter that Labour is struggling to deal with. Nkechi, if you want to have the last word very briefly.
I mean, it's just unfortunate for the Labour Party. When I saw this number, it's jaw-dropping, and it's also estimated to even balloon up to 15.3 billion pounds. And the report says that's enough to build 15 NHS hospitals. The Labour Party is facing a tightrope every day, like we say. On one hand, they've promised that, look, we're going to smash the gangs. On the other hand, they're having difficulty with accessing critical intelligence from Europol that's being blocked by European Commission. This is one of the fallouts of Brexit. So basically they're like, look, you left the club, you can't really get all that privilege. So it's just unfortunate for the Labour Party right now in the United Kingdom.
Indeed. Well, we have to leave it there. Mr. Segun Sowunmi, political commentator and convener of The Alternative, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
And thank you so much, Dr. Constance Ikoku, looking classy this morning, for joining us on Daybreak as always. That's all we have for you, and that's all the time here on Daybreak. I'm Nkechi Nana.
And I'm Charles Eruka. It's goodbye from me.
I'm Yolanda Robert. Please do keep it here on Arise News. The morning show is next. Goodbye.